Bruce, you obviously had a 2-goal lead there entering the third period. How'd you close this game out?
Well, I thought we checked well all game, to be honest with you. It was probably our, once you look through it, some things may surprise you. But in general, I thought it was our best all-around defensive game. We were good up there in Game 3, obviously, but I felt with what was at stake today and, taking some penalties as well. And even though they scored 3 on their power play, I know this is going to sound really strange, but I thought we did a pretty good job on it for the most part. They were opportunistic on a few. So, that's what we had to do at the start of the third. We couldn't get underwater on that kill, that major. They got one. And again, it was unfortunate. We bumped into the linesman in the neutral zone, so we don't get the clear, and all of a sudden they're right back at us. So we hung in after that, did a good job with the goalie out. Our power play, we generated some looks. We still wanted to get the next goal. I mean, no lead is safe with Edmonton. But Ozone puck possession was a big shift with their top guys out, that using energy to get the puck back, not being our end. It was predominantly Riley Smith, I think, had the puck a lot. So I think that contributes a lot. And it gets your bench excited, right? And it gives your D a breather, your goalie a breather to reset when you're able to do that.
Jesse Granger with The Athletic. You've got 4.5 minutes to kill when you go into the second intermission, and how good their power play's been. What was the intermission like? What was the messaging like going into that?
Well, Johnny went in and talked to the guys, and my only message, if we have a chance to be aggressive, we have to be aggressive to create some loose puck situations or a chance to win a race. We just have to, because otherwise you're going to get fatigued. They're pretty good at hanging on to pucks, recovering pucks. They don't make a lot of high-risk plays on it. Not that they're waiting for their exact play, but they're waiting for the open play. They do that as good as any power play in the league. They're not looking for something that's not there. So that was, most of the messaging. And no matter what happened, with it, we just had to come out and play after that, whether we were good, bad, or indifferent on it. And I thought like I said, we did. 5-on-5 was excellent for us tonight. So get through that. We've been the better team 5-on-5, so let's just push through this. They did. We gave up one, but Bent didn't break, and I thought the 5-on-5 game was good for us after that. Didn't give them a whole lot. Managed the puck well. No high-risk pinches or anything like that. We're going to make them earn it.
Go to Dan, then Darren.
Yeah, Dan Rosen, NHL.com. Bruce, it's going to sound weird because you said it before. You gave up 3 tonight, and it seemed like you're on the PK, and it's like your PK saved the game, too, which is a little weird.
Isn't it? I mean, it is. Once the first one went in, they really bared down. So that, to me, could have been a turning point in the game, a big time, and we got through it. And even though we lost the special teams battle 3-2, I think in reality, in our minds, we won it. And that's how we look at it. Our 5-on-5 game, again, was solid. We've been typically the better team, I think, for most of the games. Not the other night in Edmonton in Game 4, but so yeah, PK, kudos. Yep.
Darren Millard, Golden Knights. Follow up on that. Did the power play win you the game, or the penalty kill win you the game?
Well, special teams, right? I think we did our part, even though I think we had a number of, was it 2 for 5 or 6 or something like that? But the 2 we got, they changed the momentum of the game. And even though in the first period you're disappointed you don't score because you need to match them in their goals, right? It can't be 3-0 on the like Game 1 we scored a 1 on the power play. I think we got a late one, but in general, you got to get something from it. You might not win it, but we only lost it by 1. And in our minds, I thought we felt they're equal in that area tonight. So I think both of them did a good job, and you have to, especially if there's going to be a lot of infractions, and you're going to have to do your part.
Adam Hill, Las Vegas Review Journal. Bruce, once again, you guys give up an early goal and answer right back. I guess, what is it about your team that you continue to just be able to answer those goals, and how important was that moment?
Well, next shift, we've talked about it a lot. Next shift, next game, whatever the situation is, you got to be thinking ahead, stay in the moment. You can't worry about what just happened. There's some things we're always going to address, and we're not happy with certain goals we give up. But at the end of the day, in this series, we're 5 for 5 giving up the first goal. So, and it's not like we don't want to score the first goal. It's just don't take yourself out of the game in the first period. One goal shouldn't do that, whereas in other night in Edmonton it did. We're almost out of the game and really you're never out of the game, but it's a tough ask, right? So give up the first one, then we better be pushing hard for the night. We need to get the next goal and, you know, be aggressive to do that. And I think that's been our mindset after we've given up the first one, is try to aggressively push through to get the next one. And it's worked out, like I said, other than game 4, it's worked out well for us. You know, veteran group as well. They're not going to get rattled by one goal, and you shouldn't.
Ben Goetz, Las Vegas Regional. Bruce, that goal came from Jack Eichel. He also drew 2 penalties for you. What's it like to see him continue to grow in this postseason?
Well, I like the way he scored. He got inside, got to the front of the net. We needed to get greasy tonight. We needed to get to the top of the crease. He scored from there. Mark Stone scored from there. And Riley Smith scored from there. The last goal with traffic in front. And that's been our formula. Up in game 3 up there, Marshy hadn't had any goals. He went in there and scored from the top of the paint. So we have to make a conscious effort to get there and get pucks there. And Jack did. Listen, this is, I don't know what the term would be, but it's coming out party for the playoffs a little bit in Winnipeg. Now he's up against McDavid and the Oilers in the second round, and he's trying to do his part every night. I'm impressed with his assertiveness on the ice. He's drawn penalties. He's taken a few, but he's, you know, usually they're working penalties, and you know, he wants to be a difference maker. You know, it's his first go around in the playoffs, and he wants to be a difference maker. And I think you're seeing a guy rise up to the occasion, and every game a little bit more. So, and you need that from your best players. I mean, if you're going to win, that's just what's required typically.
Go to Willie, then Dan.
Willie Ramirez for the Sporting Tribune. Bruce, I asked Jack and Jonathan the same thing, but the 89 seconds, the 3 goals, the momentum shift, and then the energy from the crowd that your team feeds off of, and then also the killing of the 5-minute major. But as a coach, do you try to also observe sort of the opposition deflating and notice where their areas of weakness are
I
coming?
thought even before that, they didn't have the same jump that they certainly had up there in Edmonton in game 4. So we needed to take advantage of that. And I think our players sensed it, to be perfectly honest. They just didn't have the same drive and intensity they had up there. The physicality that they showed in game 4 wasn't quite as evident. And it could be that time of the series where you don't want to do anything that puts your team at a disadvantage. I don't know. I can't speak. That's just what we saw on the bench. So we felt that if we got to our game and I thought we were leaving some plays on the table, that just that last pass, that last play to finish a play, we were right there, and if we could do that, we'd get this thing in our favor. And Stoney got us going with that, right? He scored a goal, finished the play, and now Smitty gets, you know, now we're feeling good about our game. I think we know how to check well, we know how to defend, but we had to be in a position to defend, right? So we needed to get those goals to get ahead of them, and that's what our guys sensed. And whether that's accurate or not, I don't know, but that's how our feeling was on the bench, that we can grab hold of this, that they weren't dominating or pushing us out of the game by any means.
Bruce, what'd you think of William Carlson, considering the emotional high and the emotional exhaustion that he's been through?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously a special day for him. But I think you're running on adrenaline then, right? Your baby and your wife are healthy. You know, that's always worries everybody, right? And you come out of that part, you're a dad. And so I think whether you sleep an hour or 10 hours, you're ready to go. You're just excited. Your life is better. So, you know, it translates on your mindset coming onto the ice. And it's worked well for us, Dan. This is baby number, I think, 4. So we may be looking at calling the guys again in July, and maybe a few of them here. Let's get to work, fellas. August, whatever that. I don't work back 9 months for me. I don't know how to. So that'd be something to consider. a summer project.